Dear and respected teachers, in the last video we saw how important it is to understand and discern to behavior of children in our classrooms. We also discussed about the quality of good teachers who observe carefully all children and their behavior every day. A discerning teacher personally encounters the child who is facing difficulties in life and engages the child in dialogue in a loving and gentle manner, and if needed, she directs the child to the counselor. In this video, let us just have a bird's eye view on the problems usually we see among the children in the school. First point, learning disability. Quite often, the teachers observe among the children, very specially in the lower classes, the learning disability. These children have problem in reading, writing, or in counting. They do not copy the notes from the board. Even if they copy, they do not complete it. Sometimes they are not able to distinguish between alphabets and numerals. Their reading capacity is generally poor, handwriting is illegible, and their memory too is weak. Some have left-right confusion. Instead of writing B, they write D. I had a client who could not differentiate between ka and ga, pa and ba in Kannada language. She was not able to write them correctly. Another client could not write 7. Instead, he wrote to opposite way. If you have cases like this, refer them to counselor, and counselor will diagnose the case, then refer to some specialist in learning disabilities. Second point, ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, the overactive children. Another common problem we see among the children is ADHD, children who are restless and overactive. First and foremost, these children are unable to recognize other people's needs and desires. They interrupt others and trouble them in the class. Generally, they are very restless, cannot focus attention on any particular activity, get easily distracted and dissipated. They do not finish their assignments or any given task as they lack focus. After initial counseling, they are to be referred to a psychiatrist. Third point, anxiety disorder. Anxiety is another very common problem. Of course, there is positive type of anxiety which accompanies us in all our undertakings which we think are very important. But once the event with which we are preoccupied is over, we come back to the normal life. But certain people get persistently disturbed by anxiety. Anxiety manifests itself as a life disorder. Every life activity gets negatively affected. As a result, various symptoms crop up: headache, sleeplessness, stomachache, pervasive sadness which never permits you to relax and be peaceful and happy. These symptoms are visible sometimes even among children in your class. We need to be aware that there are different types of anxieties. I had a client who was suffering from separation anxiety. This child was worried about being separated from parents or caregivers. These children do all the work given by the teachers They like school, but they do not want to come to school as they find very painful to remain away from their parents. Another type of anxiety is called social anxiety. The children suffering from this type of anxiety are afraid of their classmates and peers because they find difficult to relate with them. Fourth point, obsessive compulsive disorder. Sometimes children load their delicate mind with unwanted and stressful thoughts, which gives rise to this mental problem. They repeat same activity again and again. This may be counting, turning the pages of the book again and again, washing their hands and the like. They need urgent counseling. Fifth point, thumb sucking. This is prevalent among KG children. Generally, parents see that their kids stop this habit of thumb sucking before they enter the school. Some children revert to this habit when they face some difficulty or stress. Little encouragement, sweet words, or even some rewards can motivate the child to give up the habit. If it persists, then better you direct the child to the counselor. Sixth point, children with autism. This is a psychological problem that hinders a child to communicate or form relationship with other children. We often confuse it with ADHD. An autism child does not keep eye contact, does not respond to parents' smile or other facial expressions. The children with autism do not look at objects. They have abnormal body posturing or facial expressions. They are bound to delay in learning to speak. There will be behavioral disturbance and defects in language comprehension. As teacher, if you have identified such behavior among the children, you need to refer them to the counselor, who in turn can refer them to the psychiatrist. Sixth point, other problems. Apart from these, there are some other problems which you might observe in the class, like bullying and aggressiveness. There will be children suffering from depression, moodiness, tendency to dominate over others, shyness, sleepiness, homesickness and the like. If you identify any of these problems among the children, you can refer them to a counselor. Remedies and resolution of the problems. It is the duty of the counselor to look into the problem and seek a remedy. They need to listen to child's concern regarding academic as well as emotional and social deficiencies. On your part, one thing you should avoid at all times, namely the habit of labeling the child as dull, bad, gloomy, problematic, slow learner, lazy, so on and so forth. Certain confidentiality is the basic right of each child under your care. Hence, you cannot reveal even in your conversation with other teachers speaking about the so-called problematic child. I mean, not the children who fail to observe external discipline, but children who suffered from psychological ailments. Any revaluation in public of any such ailment can generate new problems for the child without your awareness. All this presupposes that you love and accept each and every child. A sort of elaboration of the cause and behavioral disorders is in place at this place. What are the cause of a mental or behavioral disorder? Just to make a short list of causes. They could be the following: genetic disorders, environmental maladjustment, childhood abuse, trauma or shock experience in the past, social isolation, loneliness, stressful situations, financial problems, medical conditions, alcoholic family, marital conflicts of parents. Being aware that these are the general causes of the behavioral disorders, you can encounter the child with such disorders that will impress upon them and impel them to willingly open themselves to the teacher. So, encourage students to talk out their feelings. For this, you need to build up an emotional rapport with the students. Instead of labeling the students as good and bad, you can describe their behavior as positive, acceptable, disruptive or unacceptable and the like. Instead of punishing these children, you can reward them with the positive incentives which might help them to grow and improve their behavior. When it's necessary to speak to a student about his or her behavior, try to speak in private. Advising or exhorting the child in public might trigger negative reactions which can have degrading effects on child's performance. It is better to avoid discussing about the psychological problems of children in the staff room in common. It is just a matter of prudence whether we evaluate and pass remarks on these matters in the presence of other teachers. It is possible the child may not behave in the same way with every teacher. It is better to be preoccupied with the question of understanding children than completing the syllabus, especially in the lower classes, where children expect more personal care and concern. I feel very much elated having given you some insight regarding our approach to children. Let us convince each child that we are interested in them and in their welfare. Just addressing them by name and encouraging them when they do well can go a long way to strengthen their character and attitudes towards life. Let us appreciate our great profession as we are the effective instruments who can mold the child into a mature adult. Have a good day. Thank you so much.